But we've been coming out of a period called the Little Ice Age,
Right.
when the Thames River froze solid at London every year. But we've had warmer periods in the past. We had a Roman warming 2,000 years ago, when the Romans wore those little skirts, and you could grow olives in Bonn.
Denmark has erected over 5,000 wind turbine towers, the highest density in the world. Now you'd think that 5,000 wind turbine towers would put out a lot of electricity, but you'd be wrong. They put out all in total an average of 1.2 gigawatts. They could all be replaced by a single conventional power plant.
But since 1900, trade has increased an astonishing 1,800 times to a total of $18 trillion by 2013.
The seas rising, the ice melting, are all of those forecasts null and void?
Well, more and more evidence shows that they've been greatly exaggerated. In 1990, in the first assessment report, the IPCC predicted a high, medium, and low for global temperatures. Today, we stand well below their low prediction. So we're not seeing the catastrophic temperature rise. Sea levels have been rising about 7 inches per century, not the 20 feet that Mr. Gore and James Hansen and others have predicted.
Joining us now is Steve Goreham. He is Executive Director of the Climate Science Coalition of America. Steve, always a pleasure. Welcome back. Good to see you again.
Now, Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte had a problem back in the early 1800s, and it had nothing to do with what was in his vest.
So what's happening, the first big impact on our grid is our electrical grid margin is shrinking, and that means the possibility of blackouts.
And each and every day, 25,000 planes carry 9 million passengers, a combined total of 10 billion miles. And all of those people are powered by aviation fuel from petroleum. Back in 1898, they held the first urban planning conference in New York City. Members from major cities all over the world came to try and solve an impossible problem. It wasn't housing, wasn't poverty, wasn't education. The impossible problem they were trying to solve was horse manure. About once a quarter, I get a message from Commonwealth Edison, my electrical utility, called a home energy report, and it says something like, you use 41% more electricity than your most efficient neighbors. And I think I'm pretty stingy with electricity. I like to say my wife and I have a symbiotic relationship. She turns the lights on and I turn them off.